Good day, class. I am Okwemi Stephen Bello by name, a student of University of Ibadan Postgraduate College. This morning, I'm going to take you through a set of data that have been collected by postgraduate students of University of Ibadan, and we are going to be analyzing it together. And I want you to sit back, relax, and pay a rapt attention because the class is going to be quite interesting and it's going to allay all your fears of using statistical tools in analyzing data on SPSS. It's quite simple. So let us start working. The first thing we're going to do is to look at the question being given to us to analyze. And the question says the researcher collected the data attached to determine the influence of teachers' experience on their pedagogical knowledge, blah, 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 blah. And we also have 4 groups within the first independent variables. You know, I want to believe that we still remember the types of variables we have. The major types are that of independent and dependent. So the independent variable in this case is teachers' experience, while the dependent variable known as DV is the teacher's pedagogical knowledge. And as I've rightly said that we have 4 groups, that is the teacher's experience is being classified into four intervals. We have those with 0 to 5 years experience as being labeled as group 1. Another set of teachers with 6 to 10 years experience labeled as group 2. And the last group is that of 4 teachers with 15 to 20 years experience respectively labeled as group 4. Now we have our data set already, and that is going to make it a little bit easier for us to input, because we are not going to be inputting them one after the other. All we have to do is to copy the data set we are having in Microsoft document and paste it in our SPSS on our working sheet in SPSS. So the next thing to do is to put up SPSS application, which I've already opened in order to minimize time. I will come to my title bar here, click on it. So I have my SPSS interface, and what do I do with this interface? Where will I start from? The first thing to do is to come to your variable view. We have 2 major ways of coding information on SPSS. We have the data view, we have the variable view. So the one I'm going to do now is to click on variable view, and since I already identified the variables I'm going to be working on, I have just 2 variables, and one of the variables is for teacher's experience, which is the independent variable. So I have to code it, and we type it this way: underscore ESP, that is experience, abbreviation for experience. I'll come to the second variable because I only have 2 variables. I will type this pedagogical knowledge. Which is the oh sorry, there is I did not put underscore before typing that knowledge. Let me recode it. Okay, now what I have to do now is that I have to set up all these columns to my own taste so that it won't affect my analysis. The decimal number is 2, which is also okay. You can reduce it to 0. It is not a must that it must be in 2 decimal points. So under the labeling now, the value, this is where we are going to label our groups. What we have to do is that group 1 will be 0 to 5, so the value will be 1, while the labels will be 0 to 5. I will add. Likewise, group 2, 6 to 10, add. 3, 11 to 15, add. The last group is that of 4, 16 to 20, add. I'll now click on OK. Okay, from there I want to measure what scale, what particular measurement do I want to use to measure their experiences. So since the experience is not of the same value, it's not of the same level. You know, a teacher with a year experience cannot be of the same level with a teacher with 20 years experience. So it is ordinals because they are being arranged in an interval of 5. So I will put ordinal. And the second one, teacher's knowledge. This teacher's knowledge was able, the researcher was able to gather data on teachers' pedagogical knowledge with the use of achievement test, and that is what make the variable to be a continuous variable. And since it's a continuous variable, that is, the increase in the figure will bring about increase in value. Definitely we are going to make use of scale, not nominal. Make use of scale. Having done that, I will come to my data view. Now under the data view, I already have the variables displayed already, teacher experience and teacher knowledge. So I have to code the data under the teacher experience below the teacher experience in SPSS. What I have to do is just go back to the Microsoft Word, copy the data set under teacher's experience, which is the independent variables, and I will right click and click on copy, go back to SPSS, right click as well, and click on paste. So I have my data pasted already. Same thing, I will go back to Microsoft Word environment, copy the data under the teacher's content knowledge or pedagogical knowledge, copy, right click, click on paste. Good, I have my data set pasted already within just a twinkle of an eye because they are already on Microsoft Word document. Therefore, the next thing to do, I'll have to determine the kind of the statistical tools I want to use to analyze this data set. And since I'm having just two groups, and one of the statistical methods that accounts for the analysis of two groups is that of ANOVA. ANOVA account can analyze two or more groups. And because of the natures of this particular title, teacher's experience and teacher's knowledge, and the teacher's experience is made up of many groups. So to account for the groups within that teacher's experience, one-way ANOVA will be most appropriate for the analysis. Since I'm having two groups, independent and dependent, it will have been said to be t-test. I want to account for differences, but the question says influence of teacher's experience on teacher's pedagogical knowledge. So I'm going for one-way ANOVA because it will take care of the details of the analysis. So what I have to do is to come to analyze, click on compare means, it will display another box, look for one-way ANOVA, and I have to place my variables in the right place, and I have a dependent list here. So which of the variables is a dependent variable? Teacher's knowledge is the dependent variable, which is depending on the teacher's experience. So I move it to the dependent list, and the teacher experience is the independent variable, and another name for independent variable is what is factor. So I will move it to the box provided below, factor. From here, I have to click on options to select, to give a command to one-way ANOVA or what I want ANOVA, one-way ANOVA to do for me, the analysis I want the cycle tools to run. So I want it to describe the variables. I want homogeneity variance test, and I want fizz and random effects. So I click on continue. From there, I proceed by clicking OK. Now I have my tables display. I have the analysis being run within just seconds. And the first table is that of a descriptive. And what this one is all about is all describing the data. It shows here under the end, that is number of respondents, that we have 43 teachers that fall within the group of 0 to 5 years experience, 36 to 6 to 10 years experience, 13 to 15 that fall within the group of interval of 11 to 15 years experience. And lastly, we have 8 teachers that fall within the interval group of 16 to 20 years experience. And the total number of respondents is 100. Perfect. So this is the mean figure, the mean scores of the teachers' performance. We have the standard deviation. We have the minimum. The minimum score in the achievement test given today is 17, while that of maximum is 36. From there, we have the test of homogeneity. The test of homogeneity is typically helping us to know that the data set we've collected, the respondents share some common characteristics. They belong to the same family. They belong to the same what? To the same entity. They are all teachers. We do not compare the performance of teachers and lawmakers or soldiers or medical practitioners in the classroom. You can only compare teachers with teachers. That is why the significant level is what? Is negative. That it is not significant. If it is significant, that means something is wrong with the data set and it does not comprise responded from the same discipline. So that is state of homogeneity. Then we are sure that we are working with the right data set and there is a little or no error with the data collected so far. Having said that, we have our ANOVA table, and what this one is saying is that ANOVA is simply symbolized or represented with F equal to differences between group, variance between group, and over variance within groups. And it will give us, and how to arrive at that is that what? It just divide the differences or variance within group over differences between group over differences within group, and it will give us 12.387. That is our F value, and the significant value is what? Is positive. That is, there is a relationship between the teacher's experience and the teacher's pedagogical knowledge. That is, teacher's experience influence teacher's pedagogical knowledge in one way or the other. But we want to find out the group that actually account for this significant influence. And what we have to do is to run a post-hoc analysis. So we can only do that when the result is significant. If the result is not significant, there is no need of running post-hoc analysis, because post-hoc only occur after the ANOVA result must have indicated a significant relationship or changes or influence. So we come to compare means just the same way we got there the other time. We click on One-Way Anova. We only go to post-hoc to tell One-Way Anova to run post-hoc, which is also known as more like a post-mortem diagnosis in the hospital. So I click on Belferroni. I prefer using Belferroni at 0.05, and I click on continue. Okay, so it will bring the post-hoc test table, and this is it. And from what we are having here, we discover that from all of the groups, it is only teachers with 0 to 5 years experience that has a significant value all through. That is, when you compare teachers with 0 to 5 years experience with teachers with 6 to 10 years experience, it is significant. When you compare their performance with that of 11 to 15 years experience, is significant. Likewise, when you compare teachers with 0 to 5 years experience with that of 16 to 20 years experience, it is significant. But the rest of the tables, we only have 0 to 5 years experience in comparison with other groups, significant. But when you compare other groups, 6 to 10 years with that of 11 to 15, it is not significant. And the implication of this is that the teachers with 0 to 5 years experience perform below standard just because they are still new in the profession. That may be the reason why teachers with 6 years experience and above perform better. So we can now come into conclusion that teachers with 6 years and above perform better than the teacher with 0 to 5 years experience. Therefore, the recommendation will now be the teachers with 0 to 5 years experience should be exposed to more trainings and seminars, to be exposed to more in-service training in order to stabilize their performance. While the conclusion will be the increase in teachers' experience will result in the increase in the level of their performance. That is all. And God bless you. We've come to the end of the class. Many thanks to Dr. Milani and Dr. Taylor. God bless you. You're doing well.